The leadership of Nelson Mandela. Psychologically, one of the rarest forms of human strength is this: the ability to choose forgiveness when everything inside you has been shaped for revenge. Most people, after years of pain and injustice, are psychologically pushed toward retaliation, but history occasionally shows individuals who break that cycle. One of the most powerful examples is Nelson Mandela. His story unfolds in a deeply divided nation, South Africa. For decades, South Africa was governed under a system called apartheid. Apartheid enforced racial segregation, limiting the rights, movement, and opportunities of the majority black population. It created deep psychological wounds across generations, not only through laws, but through daily lived experience of injustice. During this struggle, Mandela became one of the most prominent voices against the system. In 1962, he was arrested and later sentenced to life in prison. He would go on to spend 27 years behind bars. For most people, long-term imprisonment under such conditions would create deep psychological transformation, often anger, bitterness, or a desire for revenge. But something unusual happened in Mandela's case. Instead of becoming defined by hatred, he became defined by resilience. During his imprisonment, especially on Robben Island, he endured isolation, hard labor, and limited contact with the outside world. Yet he also developed a psychological shift that would later shape an entire nation. He began to see something many leaders miss. If anger becomes the foundation of leadership, it often leads to cycles of retaliation that never end. When apartheid finally began to collapse, Mandela was released in 1990. The world expected chaos. Many feared retaliation, violence, or civil war. After decades of oppression, revenge would have been the expected psychological response. But Mandela chose a different path. Instead of division, he chose reconciliation. Instead of punishment alone, he chose healing. When he became president in 1994, he worked to unite a fractured nation through dialogue rather than revenge. One of the most important steps in this process was the creation of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. This commission allowed victims and perpetrators to share their experiences openly. It was not about ignoring the past. It was about confronting it without allowing it to destroy the future. Psychologically, this approach is powerful, because it breaks a cycle that often traps societies: hurt, anger, retaliation, deeper hurt. Mandela's leadership interrupted this cycle with something different: restraint and empathy at scale. Instead of asking, "How do we punish those who harmed us?" he also asked, "How do we rebuild a nation where everyone can live together?" This does not mean the past was forgotten. It means it was processed in a way that prevented it from becoming a permanent cycle of revenge. The impact of this leadership was profound. South Africa avoided large-scale civil war during its transition. A new political system was formed, and Mandela became a global symbol of forgiveness and moral courage. But psychologically, his leadership teaches something even deeper. True leadership is not only about power or victory. It is about emotional control under extreme pressure. It is about resisting the instinct to destroy what has hurt you. Because when leaders act only from pain, societies inherit that pain. But when leaders transform pain into purpose, societies can begin to heal. Psychological lesson. The highest form of strength is not revenge. It is the ability to break the psychological cycle of hurt and choose reconciliation instead.